Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aquarian Mind podcast. Today's podcast, episode number 269. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers. Motivation, Inspiration Wednesday. Today, I'm talking about small feats and bigger goals. So, if you guys have listened to my previous podcast on Monday, I spoke about book fairs and festivals. And I did do a book fair, Black Authors Meet and Greet on Saturday, July 1st in Tempe, Arizona. And it was fun. It was fulfilling. And if you guys have listened to the podcast, please go back and listen to that podcast. So, talking about small feats and bigger goals today because after the festival, came home, decompressed, processed a lot. I also ate a lot Saturday night, I will say that. And I thought of, how great the festival went. I was very happy and pleased with myself and how I, presented myself, how I promoted myself, how engaging I was. And I thought to myself, okay, great, this is a small feat. But now, on Sunday, I have work to do. And I woke up Sunday and I wrote down everything in my notebook that I had to do for the day. And I said, all right, I got to get to work today. So what I'm saying is it's great to have, accomplishments and, do great things and have your small feats, but you still got to continue the work. You still got to make sure that you stick to what you're doing and your vision and make sure that you're thinking about those bigger goals still. So for me, I unfortunately can't take off or chill out or anything like that. For me, I had to get to work. And on Sunday, I did updates to my website. I made some tweaks and changes. And under my announcements, in that section of my website, I do post when my next book will be releasing. So I had to change the book cover to Alphabet City 7. I had to do a little brief synopsis, do a pre-order link, things of that nature. So change that. The other big announcement, which I'll share with you now here, and then I'll probably continually share it throughout the month, is all 50 of my books are on discount. They are half off for the month of July on Smashwords. So if you have a Smashwords account and you want to look into my books, you can. And there are 3 books that are free. So that's another good aspect of it. The promotion is posted on Instagram, which is Aquarian Mellow. You guys can find all my social media stuff on my social media and on the podcast platforms and things of that nature. Or you can find all my stuff on my website. So I did that and, took care of all of that stuff. Took care of a couple of other small things that I had to do. Had to plan out, the month of July and all of the podcasts that I will be recording for you guys. So there's that aspect. So for me, I'm still thinking of the bigger goal. So yeah, I have a few new readers and hopefully they will continue to be readers. And the great part about it is on the back of all of my books, you have access. I give you my website, which is aquarianmindrights.com, and my, podcast website, theaquarianmindpodcast.com, all of my social media, which is Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff. So I make sure I do that. It's very important to make sure that you stay focused. Try not to get too distracted with what you've accomplished. You can go go do an event and be great and celebrate a little bit. I mean, I didn't really celebrate. If you want to count me eating as celebrating, then by all means, let's just say that's how I celebrated. And I also watched First 48. I'm intrigued by shows where detectives are trying to solve crimes and things of that nature. I don't know why I love those shows, but I do. But anyway, so it's good to, feel good about yourself when you do accomplish all of the small things that you do. But just know that you have more that you can do for yourself, right? And the worst thing you can do is get comfortable, get complacent, and say, well, I did great. I went to this event and I did great. And, I spoke and I, sold this amount and that amount and things like that. And then it's like, well, I'm just going to chill for the next few days. Nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. You got to stay motivated. You got to stay inspired. And you got to make sure that you still have that drive, that mental drive to continually push yourself to the limits that you can, right? Now, if you're flat out tired and exhausted, then yeah, take a day off, but make sure that next day you get back to it. And I don't take many days off. Not the best thing all the time, but I will tell you it's good to get the rest that you need. But let's just make sure that we're looking straight ahead and we're looking at what's the next move, for you. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like the next day after you've accomplished certain things and you've achieved certain successes, it doesn't mean the next day you got to do like 5 to 6 things. It's okay to do 1 or 2 little small things. And then as you progress, as the days go on, that you continue to do all of those small things. So those small feats that you keep doing and you keep accomplishing, it leads to the end result of accomplishing those big goals, right? So prime example of this is I did all of this small feats before I went to this book fair and did the meet and greets, right? Ordered the books, ordered the bag for me to carry the books in, and the magnetic book covers. I mean the bookmarks, the small shopping bags, the signage, all that stuff, the tablecloth. Like those are all the little small feats, right? The bigger goal was being at that book festival, looking presentable, meeting people, greeting others. A good amount of people that I met ended up buying a book. A couple of other people, they didn't, which is okay because they're going to remember me based off of the experience that they had with me, right? So it's giving off that good energy, right? Great. So small feats lead to the bigger goals that you accomplish. I did pretty well with meeting people, getting to know people, things of that nature, right? Now, Sunday came along. I did a couple of small things, recorded these podcasts. It's the smaller feats that leads to the bigger goals, right? So I want you guys to do your best in thinking all of the small feats and all the small things that you're doing are leading to the bigger goal, right? So let's say you want to start coaching one-on-one, right? You want to start coaching people to improve their lives and, be inspirational, things of that nature, right? So you start your game plan with figuring out how you're going to start your business, how you're going to do it, whether you go through the process of getting an LLC or whatever the case is. Cool, great. You do that. And you start creating ideas for content, for videos, or, posting little quotes and things like that for social media, right? Those are all the small feats that lead to the bigger goals, which is building that audience, right? So that's how it all works. Do all the small things, which leads to the bigger end goal, right? So when you have big goals, try to break them down into all of the small little things. So for me, if I want to publish a book, I know that I have to go through the process of doing all the small things, brainstorming, writing out everything I want to write, the chapter layout, the characters, the backstory, the present story. What do I want to get out of this book? What is the end goal for this? As far as, once you publish it, what do you want people to take from your book? Doing the synopsis, doing the book covers. Am I hiring someone for a book cover, or can I find a pre-made book cover, tweak it, change it up a little bit, and make it appealing to not only myself but to the reader, right? How much is the book going to be after I write it, edit it, format it, and get it ready for it to be posted on all of the other book sites, right? So all of these small things that I'm doing is leading to the end goal of that book being published. And then after that comes the next big goal, which is to get the readers to notice your book and read it. So now comes the marketing and the promotion and doing the book festivals. So all of those small things that I'm doing is going to lead to the end goal of people potentially buying a book or two and getting to know me as a person. Same thing with these podcasts. I am preparing all of these podcasts for you guys to listen to. And the process of it is, well, a lot of my blogs are turning into podcasts. Why? Because certain people like to sit and read blogs, and some people are comfortable with listening to a voice while they're multitasking or doing certain things, right? So there's smaller things that I did to build my podcast and grow it, right? And then I decided to make a website for my podcast specifically. So I had to go through the small things, going on namecheap.com, finding if I can do the aquariummindpodcast.com, and if that's open and available, then paying for that for the year, then finding a podcast website where it caters to podcasting and all of the things, all the little intricate things that's part of it, right? So I found Podpage. Podpage was kind of the start of certain websites, and now there are other podcasting websites where you can host your podcast. So I built my website and doing all the small little things, tweaking, changing things, trying different templates, seeing what works, changing the colors, and getting it to the point where the end goal is I have a full podcast website where you can find certain episodes, anything that you want to listen to, and having special media players to where you have a certain background while you're listening to it on my website. These are all the little things that I did to get to the end goal of having a podcast platform. And I was smart about it. I utilized my Anchor RSS feed, went on Spreaker, added it to there. So now whatever Anchor doesn't have for podcasting platforms, Spreaker has it, and I utilized that RSS from Anchor, put it on Spreaker. Now I'm on way more platforms than what most other people are. So I'm on over 20 platforms. You probably have about access to 18 on my website, and you can listen to my website on there, or you can utilize one of those and go onto there. So it's all of those little things that I did to get to this point. So I want you guys to continually to think about not just a big goal. That's great to have those big goals, but have 5 big goals and have 5 small little things, 5 to 6 small things that you have to do to get to the end goal of that bigger one. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I hope that what I've shared with you guys, I hope that helps. And I hope that you took a little bit of something from what I've shared. And it's what's worked for me for so long, and it's something that I'm going to continually do. All right, guys, that's my podcast for today. I thank you guys for listening. As always, be good, everyone, and go accomplish your goals.